Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday. Welcome to Attract Mode presented by Lady Arcaders. I'm chibicarrera. I am ecstatic to be your host for this showcase. We are getting ready for the Rocky Horror Show video game, Any Percent with Alara. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm so excited. Y'all should know that my first tattoo that I ever got is a quote from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It says, "Don't dream it, be it." And it's just one of those things that I just love. And it was also kind of like a little haha at my dad because he didn't want me to get a tattoo. Anyway, that's a completely different story. Did y'all know that Lady Arcaders is an all-women's gaming collective that runs weekly showcases and the occasional charity event? We strive to uplift and encourage women in their gaming endeavors by cultivating a supportive environment in which to showcase their talents. Did you also know that we have a newsletter? If you want to read articles written by our members, keep up to date with our events, and find out what our community is doing, visit ladyarcaders.com/newsletter or type !newsletter into our chat for a quick link. Now everybody, with a bit of a mind flip, you're into a time slip, and nothing can ever be the same. Because you're about to experience the Rocky Horror Show video game with Alara. Take it away.
Hello, friend shapes. How are we doing? I hope you're having a fantastic time. I'm so excited. I also love and adore this franchise. I actually produced the Shadowcast for this for 3 years with my now wife, and it's just so many fond memories. I still have a little bit of reminiscing every time I hear the music because my brain just immediately goes to, oh no, oh no, oh no, is everyone in their places for cues? But I don't have to go through this alone because I brought one of my best friends with me. Say hello, Oofy.
Meowdy meowdy, everybody. I don't have the amazing experiences y'all have with Rocky Horror, but this is one of my favorite movies around Halloween time. It's just such a good one, and watching Alara do this game has been just so fantastic.
So, before we do get started, I do want to give a little bit of a heads up. One, I love and I adore this series, but we need to take a moment to acknowledge that a lot of the things in this series have aged a little poorly. Thankfully, the creator, Sam, who unfortunately wasn't able to join us, did an absolutely fantastic job kind of navigating it to make it a little bit more palatable in some ways, but it's still very, very true to the source material in every way that matters. So I just wanted to take a moment to yes, this is part of LGBT history and it's important to acknowledge it, but it's also important to say, you know, this hasn't aged as gracefully as some of us would want it to. But with that, I think I'm ready to go. Is everyone else ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay,
Sure,
I'm
I
gonna
am.
hit new game. Time does not start on new game. It actually starts when I gain control of Brad, but that doesn't mean the fun doesn't start right now. And we start with the fantastic 8-bit renditions of all the songs. Oh, also, this game is based on the play, not the movie, so if some stuff feels different, that's why.
The Rocky Horror Show. I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey. It seemed a fairly ordinary night when Brad Majors and his fiancée, Janet Weiss, two young, ordinary, healthy kids, left Denton that late November evening to visit a Dr. Everett Scott, ex-tutor and now friend to both of them. It's true there were dark storm clouds, heavy, black, and pendulous, toward which they were driving. It's true also that the spare tire they were carrying was badly in need of some air. But they being normal kids and on a night out, well, they were not going to let a storm spoil the events of their evening. On a night out they were to remember for a very long time.
Oh, I still get chills. Still get chills.
Oh, Janet, Dr. Scott will be thrilled to hear of our engagement. After all, if it hadn't been for him, we'd have never met.
Oh, Brad, I'll never forget the day we met in his science exam.
I remember. I gave you the eye and then panicked.
And now we're engaged, and I'm so glad.
Damn it, Janet, I love you.
And I'm mad for you, Brad. What's the matter, Brad, darling?
I think we took the wrong fork a few miles back there. We'd better go on ahead up the road and see if we can find our way back. Oh, darn! Janet!
What was that bang?
We seem to have blown out the front left hand tire.
Oh, but we're in the middle of nowhere.
Didn't we pass a castle back down the road a few miles? Maybe they have a telephone I might use.
The Castlevania reference for anyone interested? I'm coming with you. Besides, darling, the owner of the cone may be a beautiful woman, and you may never come back. Right. Time starts when Janet comes into contact with Brad, and I gain control of Brad. So 3, 2, 1, time. Right. So the beginning section is pretty straightforward. We play as Brad starting out. Eventually we gain control of Janet, and then we finish off with Dr. Scott, who we have heard about already. But the characters get progressively worse as the game gets progressively harder. So we will be happy to have control of Brad while we still can. Because Brad is the only character that has more than 1 health. I also noticed you're gonna see this environment a lot because all 3 characters share stages, but that doesn't mean their stages are the same. There's actually huge amounts of changes between each character.
I wonder if you could help us. Sorry, Alara.
Oh, you're good, you're good.
I wanted to,
Huh?
I just wanted to make sure that we know about the car breaking down.
Well, you're too kind for reminding them. Just quick little side, we're gonna see a lot of these introductions happen. This game's really, really RNG dependent, so I'm gonna be chiming in at random moments because sometimes the game tells me that there's something to talk about. That's just out of my control. It's just, this game is really, really RNG, and if you're familiar with old platformers, it ignores the concept of cycles because the cycles continue through death and the enemies don't, and some enemies continue with the cycles. It's weird. All you need to know is there's a lot of times that I have to stop and manually set some stuff up because if it even has a setup, it's finicky at best. But back to the readouts. Oh, Brad, what sort of place is this? I'm frightened.
It's probably some sort of hunting lodge for rich weirdos. There's nothing to worry about. Excuse me. Hi. If I could just use your phone, we'll move right along. I'm sure you've got a lot of things to do and a great evening planned.
Yes, you've arrived on a rather special night. The Master's having one of his affairs. Lucky old him. Yes, he's lucky, I'm lucky, you're lucky, we're all lucky. And who was that? Well, probably no one important. I'm sure she's never gonna show up again. No, unfortunately, Columbia does get thrown aside a little bit for the purposes of the game. Again, doesn't seem like much now, but when we come back here with other characters, this portion of the map is going to be a little bit busier. The game is interesting in that, again, the difficulty scales rather exponentially because the characters get worse and worse, but the stages do not get more kind. A lot of this is just kind of working around the attempt at cycles, I think. And therefore, it's not too much of a problem. Also, first case of a skip, we get to just carry things and jump on them as we hold them. We don't know why. I say we as though there's more than one runner. I'm actually currently the only active runner. But if you throw an object onto the wall and you're standing next to the wall, you can just sometimes jump on the thing as you're holding it. Past that,
Laura, would you like to tell the... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you like to tell the audience why you're the only runner of this game right now?
This game is like 2.5 weeks old off the top of my head. Also, this is the few cases of a spike that we can run under. Yeah, this game is like brand new. But my Rocky Horror obsessed brain saw it and immediately went, I need to run this. I need to run this right now. And I reached out to the creator and I was just like, can we chat? Because I need to like figure this out ASAP. And Sam was really kind and spoke to me. Also, again, just walking on a thing you're holding. But he's been delightful to work with. Can I make this? Yes, I can. It's Ghosts and Goblins, so if you take damage, you're now in your skivvies. And this is a scene some people might remember. So we don't get the dialogue just yet, because guess who's our first boss fight? So, speaking of RNG, the boss fights are all RNG the whole way through. It's 4, nope. 4, 5, 6, there we go.
Very good. How do you do? I see you've met my faithful handyman.
I'm glad we caught you at home. Could we use your phone? You see, we had a blowout in our front left hand tire and...
So you got caught with a flat. Well, how about that? Why don't you stay for the night? Or maybe a bite? I could show you my favorite obsession. I've been making a man.
Thank you, but we're both in a bit of a hurry.
Making a man?
So come up to the lab. See what's on the slab. I see you shiver with antici... PATION.
Of note, I did not pause it. The game pauses for anticipation. So if you know that reference, congratulations.
They did it so well. Like, Sam did that just so good.
I saw that the first time playing through and I was like, no. The game just paused for me. Okay, so one quick thing. This is... I'm gonna try to set myself up for the 1 damage boost in the game. I need to finish the cryogen slab with 1 health extra. Also, that jump can kill you for some reason. We don't know why. Again, we have me as though it was more than just me. I cannot figure out why. Sam can't figure out why. That jump just kills you for some reason when you go down that area. There's a lot of... We have not been able to figure out between Sam and me why this game behaves the way it does. It just does. So, get past these fireballs. So far, no issue. I will make a note. You will hear my voice way less and way less as the week progresses because this game gets really tense really fast. Okay, now we hope that RNG cooperates because there we go. So the reason we needed that 1 extra health is because now I can kill these 2 enemies and avoid... No, never mind. We're not gonna avoid anything. I'm gonna have to do the thing. I don't like that box, but we're gonna try. Okay, that works. If you had 1 health remaining, you can just ignore the box and go down the stairs. Also, meet the next boss fight. It doesn't have any kind of setup. It's the one boss fight that doesn't tell you a boss fight's about to happen. I died my first time playing through because I was staring at the cutscene and didn't realize the boss fight started during the cutscene. It just kind of flows organically into it. And then Frank introduces us to his beautiful creation, the titular Rocky, named after the rocks in his head. Which is unfortunately a reference that they don't make in the video game, but you know, when you have to condense everything into a game. Okay, this is the second boss fight. It's against Rocky. Rocky is the boss with the least HP. He only has 5. And he's also the most dangerous boss fight, because if you are holding anything or touching anything at the end of the boss fight, the game just kills you for some reason. We don't know why.
Well, that's fun.
It just happened. It's just, you fall to the floor and you die. So we have to be really careful to just not be holding anything or touching anything, so the game just doesn't decide to kill you. I have lost many a PB to dying like 5 times because I was just holding a box while I figured out the timing on stuff. And then the next boss fight, I'm gonna jump over this intentionally because I want that HP to stand there for a moment, because we get to meet our beautiful Eddie. Eddie is special because Eddie's the only boss fight you don't fight. He's an auto-scroller. So if y'all have any questions or anything to say, this is a fantastic time to do so.
I believe you said that Eddie has another fun little bit of RNG as this game does in his jumps.
Yep, every single boss fight, including Eddie. Eddie's kind of the most RNG of the bosses because his is also the movement, but every boss has a ton of RNG, including when they jump, which, considering every boss fight requires you jump over the boss at some point, having jumps be RNG is not the best. And now we get our dear Frank to the rescue. And
Eddie
takes
had
her. Oh, I'm sorry.
a certain naive charm, but no muscle.
Alright, so now we get introduced to our next character, because this cutscene ends the Brad section, which means now the game is just gonna get harder from here. We get told about how we're just gonna hang out in the bedroom for a little while, and Brad and Janet are staying in separate rooms, which is important for a couple that's not married. But they're gonna get a visitor in the middle of the night who has some words for them. Some surprises in the night. Oh, Brad. Oh, Brad, my darling. Oh, you.
I'm afraid so, Janet. But isn't it nice?
You beast. You monster. What have you done with Brad?
Nothing. Why, do you think I should?
I would never. I'm saving myself.
There's no crime in giving yourself over to pleasure. Oh, Janet, you've wasted so much time already. Brad needn't know. I won't tell him.
Are you sure you won't tell him? Okay. Oh. Oh.
Oh, Janet, everything's gonna be all right. You!
I'm afraid so, Brad. But isn't it nice?
You fiend! You scoundrel! What have you done with Janet?
Nothing. Why? Do you think I should?
I would never. I thought it was the real thing.
Oh, come on, Brad. Admit it. You want it, don't you? There's no crime in giving yourself over to pleasure. Oh, Brad, you've wasted so much time already. Janet needn't know. I won't tell her.
Are you sure you won't tell her? Okay. Oh. Oh.
Master, the laboratory is empty. Rocky has vanished. The new playmate is loose and somewhere in the building.
Oh. Coming.
And now we get to hang out with Janet for a while. So, as you saw, Brad takes damage and he gets into skivvies. And Janet is unfortunately not as clothed as she was in the beginning. Therefore, you know, that extra HP, she just doesn't get it. This ghost is annoying because there's no way to deal with him other than just wait for him. Same with the spikes. You're gonna notice a repeating pattern here. Oh, that's not great. Again, RNG, the cycles continue whether I'm playing the game or not. So we just happened upon the spikes being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Again, it's going to be a recurring theme. I'm just gonna wait it out this time. Here we go. And this might seem familiar. Also, I'm sad because this is the first skip in the game I ever saw. And unfortunately, Sam was so mean and patched it out day 1. And I'm still grumpy about it, Sam. Why did you patch the first thing I ever found for this game? But basically, we didn't need to come get this box. We could just turn right here. And if you entered this room and then took a death, it just spawned you at the top of these stairs, so you could just skip that entire section. Oh, that was convenient. Didn't have to worry about that cycle there. That spiky spike. Say hello to the spiky spikes.
Every time you get under those spikes, it makes me so nervous.
Oh, it's terrifying. Also, if you go down the stairs, it's a dead end. It's not worth it. Come on, spikes. Here we go. There's a lot of invisible spikes in this area because this game is mean sometimes. Oh, I'm not gonna make that cycle. Go. Little pop spikes. Janet also has the single longest chunk of quiet time in the game. It's not quite yet, it's in the cryogenics chamber. But there's one really long segment where, because of how enemies spawn, if I don't succeed first try, it goes from difficult to nightmare scenario. Let me wait for this to line up. No, one more, no. And almost. Because of how that skull spawns, I have to go at exactly the right time, and it lets me go under it and under the spike. That is the only consistent setup for that entire thing. I have tried. And even then, it's not horribly consistent because it's vague guessing based on pixels that move erratically. Ah, okay, I never make that one, and I'm happy. This game is Panic Attack the video game, if you have not noticed. But now we get to carry this along for a little bit because we're about to go into the cryogenics chamber in a little bit and meet the single most annoying enemy in the game. Who here has fond memories of playing Star Fox growing up? Because
I unfortunately do not.
So the final enemy of that game is a giant floating head called Andros. I'm surprised I made that. It's a giant floating head called Andros. And he turns into a brain at the end. Oh, ooh, that almost killed me. Those giant heads make an appearance in this game. I don't know why he just made a bunch of floating brains. But we've already seen the skulls, which are the Castlevania Medusas of this game. But the brains are homing. So it's a flying enemy that homes and tracks you. She gets the harder version of this jump because she does. Oh, okay. We're just gonna take the bosses this way then. Up here. I'm gonna line up because there's a spot. There we go. I like that box. And there's another skull here, the Medusa heads. Perfect. And now we're in the cryogenics chamber. And say hello to the little brain jar in the background. He's not gonna be in the jar for long. They are the bane of my existence. Also, fun
and we
fact
say
about
we
this
have
game.
no brain cells. Sorry.
Oh, we absolutely don't have brain cells. But one quick thing. Enemies do not despawn when off screen. Oh, that was bad. Enemies don't despawn. So that brain is now chasing me for the entirety of the rest of this map. So when I say I can't stop, won't stop, I really mean it. Oh no, that's a death. Again, cycles are unkind because nothing aligns. Everything's just kind of on its own cycle and it continues off screen. So I have to hope that the platform gets there in a time that lets me jump on. And then the enemy doesn't run into me while I wait for the brain. Come on. Because if they just occupy the entirety of that, I'm just gonna take a safety ice cube here. I don't feel like taking more deaths. Oh, no, just kidding. That time it would have worked.
You got this.
Okay, 1, 2. I'm just gonna there, jump. Alright, and then this starts the quiet time of death because I cannot mess this up or it becomes a nightmare. Go under, over. Okay, so far so good. I don't know what happened there. That's never happened before. The ice cube just kind of despawned in my hand. I was about to say, that was weird.
Yeah.
So now we just make it up as we go because now they're spawned for the most part. Okay, so that brain behaved. We might be okay. No, we're not. Just kidding. Can I recover this? Can I? Probably. I have to wait for this to come up, and oh, we're good.
Beautiful. That was gorgeous, Alara.
GG.
Oh, that was some gorgeous recovery. You should be really proud of that.
Thank you. The most beautiful line in this entire thing. Rocky, you can talk? In most versions of the story, yes. Which is a reference to the part where in the movie Rocky has no lines. It is a notorious thing because oh, quick thing. They actually watch Lady Arcaders and they learn to play bridge, so they're actually learning to play professional bridge. That's why all the hearts are coming out. Hearts are the trump card.
That's too many hearts. That's too many hearts.
They're playing multiple rounds.
Oh, okay. What's this on the monitor? Is that Janet? Janet, how could she? That's it. It's over.
So yeah, the actor for Rocky was so notoriously horrible, they cut out all of his lines in the movie and hired a singer to dub over his one song.
That's a fun fact that I did not know, actually.
Yeah. When you work the show for 3 years, you pick up a lot of random trivia. But yeah, they literally just grabbed a bodybuilder. He wasn't a very good actor, so they just didn't give him lines. Also meet Dr. Scott. Dr. Scott is like Janet. He only has 1 health. But you'll notice Dr. Scott has some extra equipment. He's in a wheelchair. You know how they represent the wheelchair? By giving him ice physics. Darn it. So, if you've ever played an ice level, and the character just kind of keeps moving when you let go and takes a moment to start up, that's exactly how Dr. Scott controls in this game.
I will say Alara has a lot of practice with this because somehow when she first picked up this game, she ended up glitched out and just on the Dr. Scott level, which admittedly was extremely funny to me to watch because ice physics run over and over again is not fun, and I'm apparently a horrible person to one of my best friends.
That jump is glitched. I'm actually going to show it off super quick again, but if you get to the wall and you jump, he doesn't actually go the full length of the jump. So you have to only partially get on this platform to be able to jump over it. Again,
oh, wow.
I've brought it up to the dev. The answer is I have no idea why it does that. That is all one giant piece of collision. It should not be behaving that way. So if you remember the beginning of the game, same map, except now we have fireballs. And the pop spikes from earlier that just pop into existence. And skeletons from Janet's section. And ice physics. I don't know why it just took it a second to decide that I died there, but sure. I'm just gonna wait it out this time. Okay. I love this game. I genuinely do. I adore this game, partially because of the music. But you can tell it was made by a one-person team on a very tight schedule. And I think Sam did admirably with what he had available. Also, another piece of tech, you want to land this on that spike, because now I can stand here, wait for that, and jump. And skip the second half of the jump.
Ooh.
Yeah, this game's real good at giving you a heart attack. So the good news is from here on, the really, really, really nasty parts with Dr. Scott are fairly scripted in terms of the nasty parts I can do a sort of setup. They're never 100% consistent because nothing in this game is 100% consistent. But enjoy Dr. Frankenfurter's private back passage. And yes, that is actually what the stage is named. Ooh. Hooray for ice physics. I cannot turn on a dime and I cannot make that jump. Sometimes you can make that one. Oh, inching closer to these spike balls with ice physics is not fun.
No. Oh, every time I have to watch you do this, it makes me so nervous.
Ah.
Yeah, my heart is just like clenching right
Right?
now.
Come on, get up. There we go. I think it could be a little bit more generous when they come down. There's one
It
jump.
feels like it's very, very close.
Oh, it is. A lot of these are darn near pixel perfect. Right. I'm gonna get that. Run over. The next section on the other side of that wall actually has a really fun setup that only works if I take a death. Wait for that. I'm gonna take a death here, and I'm gonna hold right, and in theory, it's gonna look amazing. That is 100% consistent. I don't know why it doesn't kill me if I do that. It only lines up if you take that death, and now you get to see it again. Because that fireball came in a little earlier than I thought it was going to. But yeah, it delays you just enough that you can just walk inside the hitbox for the sprite and of the spike ball, and for whatever reason it doesn't kill you. And if you jump, it just stops you just enough to kill the brain, to hold the brain up. I doubt that was intentional, but it looks really cool.
I'm actually glad we got to see that twice because that was awesome.
Right?
I'm gonna wait on one more cycle. There we go. Come on. A lot of this is just being patient and measuring risk versus reward. Is it worth trying to rush it or not?
Sometimes you gotta go slow to go fast in a speedrun, especially with ice physics.
Oh no! I tried to get out before the brain turned around and I paid for it. Again, it's all risk reward. Is this worth taking or not? Come on. Also, the music in the background.
I was about to ask, like, is this soundtrack available somewhere?
They are working on it. I'm gonna try
Good.
to...
Thank
I am really
goodness.
happy to hear that.
Okay. Dr. Scott. Brad! Oh, Earth... What? What are we talking about? Why are there suddenly mentions of Earthlings? Alright, I'm going to try to power through this one because this is a whole lot of dialogue and exposition for stuff that frankly doesn't make sense even if you've seen the movie. All you need to know is they're all in a room together and they're all saying each other's names, and apparently there's aliens involved. Also, Rocky is angry and says piss off.
That would have been actually really hilarious in the movie.
His only line? Yeah.
Yeah, just one line and that's it.
And then, oh, do either of y'all have plans for dinner after this, by the way?
No, I'm really hungry.
I was thinking about making some meatloaf.
Oh, good. Okay. I could go for some meatloaf.
Would you like to explain why that joke is funny, Jimmy?
Because Eddie is played by Meatloaf in the movie?
Yep. There's also a scene where it's implied that they're cannibalizing Eddie.
Yeah, you have dinner. We have dinner with Dr. Frankenfurter in the movie, and there are many thinly veiled references to what everyone might be eating.
Also, that is probably the single most smooth Frank 2 fight I've ever done. Frank 2 is a pain in the butt. And
I was
do
about
not
to
know why
say
he
that
cooperated.
that was very clean.
I didn't bother saying anything because I expected to spend a couple of minutes there having to recover from Frank, but that was just clean and I loved it. So, final Dr. Scott segment, we have arrived at the floor show. So, have any of y'all played old Mario games? And I swear this is relevant.
Yes.
I'm very bad at them.
Same.
Well, I would like for you to enjoy the floor show.
Oh my goodness.
Excellent.
That is fantastic.
They did such a good job with both like the movie references, the play references, the Shadowcast references, and the random video game references. Like, the sprite work is fantastic, but it just being the Mario backdrop is just beautiful. So Dr. Scott is noticing that they're all being mind controlled by Dr. Frankenfurter. We don't know specifically what's going on, but now they've got to get out of this trap. This is the one segment with Dr. Scott that is clean. I can just hold right the entire way through, jump over these two, and then stop here for the pop spikes. That is the one clean Dr. Scott section. Oh, nice, got the kill. There was a skeleton there that I never got.
I saw no skeleton. What are you talking about?
And get that, jump here, grab, kill. This is all mapped out because this is a pain in the butt section. And go. I'm going to wait. I'm going to walk forward, force a spawn for a skull because I don't want to deal with it when I'm platforming. Oh, that is the exact worst possible place for it to have landed. Oh. Ice physics are fun. Alright, so let's try this again. I'm gonna grab it. There's gonna be a brain on the back end of it now, though. I'm gonna grab this underneath. And go. Wait for the skull. Oh, that is also not great. Okay. Alright. And this should be it for Scott. And we have one last boss fight. Time is going to be on final hit to the final boss, which is none other than Riff Raff. So if you've seen the creepy guy in the background, that is Riff Raff. And he is now dressed in a very particular attire. The music, though.
It's so good.
Yeah. And it's revealed that they're aliens. All the residents of the manor are aliens. If you're wondering where it came from and why they're suddenly aliens, that is a fantastic question. The movie will not explain it.
Does the play explain it?
No.
Okay, good. I would be actually upset if it did.
No. It doesn't need explanation.
Yeah, it doesn't need explanation, but I'd be upset if it did.
Right, so final boss.
Sometimes it's just aliens.
I'm gonna... Oh, no, this might not be enough. That early hit might have been a problem. 4, 5, 6, and time. Okay.
GG's, that was really beautiful, Alara.
31:53 is not a bad time for this. I'm happy with
I was
31:53.
about to say, that's really good.
The mastery that you have over this platforming is mind-blowing.
I've spent almost the entirety of the last 2 weeks doing nothing but grinding this game down. And most of that is just trying to find setups for the hard jumps, and it's really hard. But little extra fun fact for those of you that don't know, there's 2 endings to this movie. Obviously, the stage play only has 1 ending, but if you saw the movie, there are 2 endings. If you remember the movie ending with the castle flying off into the sky, you saw the American ending.
Okay.
If you remember it ending, so here's the part that's the American ending. If you remember, the ending is all them characters that are human crawling on the ground, escaping the rubble. That is the European ending. And then you get the readout of the final lines.
and crawling on the planet's face. Some insects called the human race. Lost in time and lost in space. And meaning.
So, fun fact, that is close to my PB, and it's actually faster than the time I have posted. So, strictly speaking, once this video goes up and I tie it to the leaderboard, this will technically be world record.
Awesome.
I've been so busy grinding and I haven't bothered recording some of my submissions. I think I've gotten slightly lower than that on a PB. I know my sum of best is now officially sub 30. But given how tight some of these jumps are, getting that sum of best time in a run is going to be a time. Yeah, thank you so much for being here, y'all, and thank you for hosting, and thank you for commentating for me, Ufi. It is super, super appreciated.
I'm just here and glad to be able to watch some Rocky Horror. Every time I watch you play this, it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Alara.
Yeah. Okay, so if y'all want to find me, I stream every so often. I use the channel Alara Cutie because finding just Alara anywhere is a pain in the butt. Turns out it's actually like a real world name. But come hang out. I stream a lot when I have friends to stream with. I mostly do collabs, oftentimes with Ophelia. Speaking of Ophelia, the beautiful, fantastic Ophelia, where could we follow you?
You can follow me at ClockworkOphelia on Twitch, on socials. I stream pretty consistently. If you like FF14, that is kind of a current obsession, and Alara and I do lots of stuff together. So if you want to watch more of her, which is who you should be watching, maybe you can see some of that.
The final thing I will mention is I'm going to be at GDQ, so if you watch a GDQ, I am going to be on stage. I'm going to be running a game that Ophelia taught me, Pizza Possum. So come check me out there. I'm going to be hanging out. I'm going to be vibing all week. I'm crossing my fingers when they announce host that I'm going to be there, but I know the two people on stage with me right now are also in the same boat of crossing their fingers for that. But I hope to see you there. And with that, you can have the stage back, Rira.
Thank you, and thank you so much for that incredible showcase. That was an absolute pleasure to watch. All right, everyone, we are going to be right back after a quick intermission. Hang around for some final announcements. Thank you for hanging around, everybody. That was... wow. Thank you again to Alara for that amazing showcase of the Rocky Horror Show video game, and thank you, ClockworkOphelia, for your amazing commentary with that. That was astounding, and as a speedrun, time was fleeting, and I think madness took its toll. So thank you again, everyone, for hanging out and chatting and being with us. If you want more Lady Arcaders content, be sure to keep an eye out for our very first game development jam, Lag Jam, running from Thursday, November 14th to Sunday the 17th. We will be broadcasting the team's progress every night at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on our Twitch channel. The games will be shown off on the final night of the game jam at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday the 17th. If you'd like more information, type !AGJAM in chat. Submissions for Attract Mode showcases are always open, and we'd love to have you on showing any game you love. Send us your showcase ideas at ladyarcaders.com/start. We are currently scheduling for the month of December. And if you're part of the private Lady Arcaders server, we are looking to hear about your favorite free games to build out our advent calendar this year. We'll be curating the submissions to release one new free game each day of December. Find a link to submit your favorite free game in the news channel on the private Discord. That's definitely something you should be part of because that's what, 31 free games? How can you pass that up? Alright everybody, this has been a blast. I have been your host, Chibicarrera. This is Lady Arcader's Attract Mode. Thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out. We are going to now go raid a good friend of ours, Jerry Kandra. I hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful night, and I hope that you make it a great week. We'll see you again soon.